On this Monday, April 21st, 2025, the world stopped for an instant. News echoed from the walls of Casa Santa Marta and traveled to every corner of the planet, bringing crowds into profound silence. Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, passed away at the age of 88. His death marks the end of a unique era, concluding a pontificate that, for more than a decade, guided the Catholic Church amidst profound changes and historical challenges. The final months were particularly difficult for Francis. Recurrent respiratory problems, aggravated by bilateral pneumonia and the onset of renal insufficiency, had profoundly weakened his health. After a long 38-day hospitalization at Gemelli Hospital in Rome, he returned home, visibly frail. His last public appearance occurred on Easter Sunday, when even with his body visibly weakened, his presence conveyed hope and perseverance to the faithful gathered in St. Peter's Square. However, just a few hours later, on the morning of this Monday, a fulminant stroke cut his life short. The rapid worsening of his condition into cardiorespiratory collapse made any attempt at immediate aid impossible. But who was Jorge Mario Bergoglio before becoming Pope Francis? To understand the profound impact of his death, we need to go back to the beginning of his journey on December 17, 1936, in the humble streets of Buenos Aires, Argentina. Son of Italian immigrants Mario José Bergoglio and Regina Maria Sivori, Bergoglio grew up in a simple home, where hard work and deep faith were fundamental values transmitted mainly by his grandmother. Initially, his path seemed far from religion. Young and determined, he studied chemistry and even worked as a technician in the field. But at the age of 21, Bergoglio heard an irresistible call, which led him to join the Society of Jesus. Known for its intellectual rigor and commitment to social justice, ordained a priest in 1969, he quickly demonstrated leadership and empathy, taking on important responsibilities such as provincial superior of the Jesuits in Argentina during a turbulent political period. In 1998, he was appointed Archbishop of Buenos Aires, a position in which he consolidated his image as a humble leader, especially dedicated to the poor and marginalized. Avoiding luxuries and privileges, he preferred public transportation and direct contact with the most needy faithful, characteristics that accompanied him throughout his life. In 2001, he was elevated to cardinal by John Paul II, positioning him as an important figure behind the scenes of the Universal Church. His election in March of 2013 was a global surprise. After Benedict XVI's unexpected resignation, Bergoglio appeared on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica with a simple "Good evening," humbly asking for the people's prayers before blessing them. By choosing the name Francis, he honored St. Francis of Assisi, a symbol of humility, simplicity, and love for the poor. He thus became the first Jesuit pope, the first Latin American, and the first non-European in over 1,200 years. During his nearly 12 years leading the Church, Francis did not confine himself to the walls of the Vatican. His pontificate was marked by a strong defense of social justice, denouncing the economy of exclusion, defending migrants and refugees, and promoting a more inclusive vision of the Church. Documents such as Evangelii Gaudium and Fratelli Tutti highlighted his missionary vision and his commitment to universal fraternity. In Laudato Si, he addressed the environmental crisis as an ethical and spiritual imperative, driving a new global consciousness about care for the planet. Francis also bravely faced the painful crisis of sexual abuse within the Church, establishing rigorous norms and advocating for transparency and justice for the victims. He promoted deep reforms in the Vatican administration, seeking greater transparency and decentralization. Despite internal resistance from more conservative sectors, he remained faithful to his conviction of a welcoming church close to human realities. His legacy transcends religious borders, making him a global moral figure, respected for his commitment to peace, interreligious dialogue, and respect for human dignity. His travels and meetings with religious leaders worldwide, such as in Iraq and the United Arab Emirates, reinforced his constant message of unity and mutual understanding. Now, with his death, the period known as sede vacante opens, during which the College of Cardinals will meet to choose his successor. Fulfilling his personal request, Francis will be buried in a modest chapel in the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore, a special place for him due to his deep Marian devotion. Francis's pontificate concludes, leaving a significant void, but also a deep and inspiring heritage. His life was a constant reminder that true greatness lies in simplicity, service to others, and the courage to defend universal values. His epitaph could be the phrase he so often repeated, "He who does not live to serve, does not serve to live." Rest in peace, Pope Francis. Your legacy of love, courage, and mercy will continue to illuminate paths and inspire generations.